Welcome back to V8 Creative and part 36 of the Ultima RS build, and on this episode I take delivery of my engine, my transaxle and also a brand new factory upgrade. Oh boy, I'm so excited. Welcome back to the Dean Den. Today is the day. Today is the day I take delivery of my LS3 crate engine. But not only a 6.2 litre V8, I'm also taking delivery of a brand new 6-speed Porsche transaxle. I'm also taking delivery of the conversion kit that takes the American grunt, interfaces it with the finesse of Porsche, and then Porsche will then throw it out to shred my Michelin tyres at the rear. So also in this delivery I'm getting an Ultima upgrade, an upgrade that no one has had so far, so it's brand new. So if you're building an RS or thinking of doing it, keep tuned, because I've just got a feeling you'll be ticking the box that I've had the good fortune to see first. Anyway, so before the van arrives, we're going to do some spannering. Yeah, of course we are. And as you can probably tell, me being in my virtual study, there is room here. And the reason there's room is the center section is now permanently back on the car. And then I bolt it, sealer it, and also pop rivet it to that RS chassis for the very, very last time. So we can see now we have the center section back on the car. Now before this can be riveted and bonded into place, we have to fit what's called splash panels. Now if you look in this area here, if you can imagine, there's holes going into the side pods. So therefore, if this wasn't covered, when the car was being used, you'd get road debris and water in here, and up here, which is clearly not what you want. So Ultima provide, one for each side, what they call splash panels. Now these are just black gel coat finished fiberglass panels, but as you can see here, they need trimming, and they're quite a complex shape because they have to go through the main water feed, which is for this is that recess, then this goes around the chassis, and here these are other chassis members, and that's actually that little hole there, or groove, that's for the brake hose. So if you watch, I will pop it on. Let's see how it works out properly. You just draw this on. Get this on. That's on there. It's perfect. And I'll jump it up. It is a snug fit. And there we go. So you can see down here, this is a flush join, so we put sealer on this. Where it goes around these pipes, etc., we seal all this up so there's no holes. And then it's riveted along the bottom. I'll show you that when I actually do it. And here, it's riveted behind this white bit and sealed as well. So this provides total waterproofing. Now, as you can imagine, this is quite a complex shape, and cutting in all these recesses is a little bit tricky. And Ultima can't provide all this pre-cut because this water pipe I put on, so that might be slightly different. The lines might be slightly different. So what I'm going to do is show you the other side now in speeded up fashion, which will show you how I'm actually going to cut the other side, and then we'll mount them. And when that's done, we're ready to put the center section on permanently.
Leaving this place, the sun's about to break. You're riding shotgun, the feeling we chase. I'm wide awake, take me away now.
So there we have it. Splash guards trimmed. And I must say, a little bit fiddly, but now they fit super, super snugly. So what you can see here is, here's one of the splash guards, and what I've done is I sprayed the inside satin black to match the rest of the inside of the panels. Now, why did I do it? Well, you can't see it, but I know it's there, so that's why I did it. So the next stage, before I pop the center tub on permanently, is I'm going to be putting these splash panels on and then drilling the holes and riveting them to the underside of the chassis. So let's just get on drilling.
Don't you blame me? Yeah, this feeling I've got's making me crazy, making me crazy. So I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive. wherever we go, we're taking control. The future is ours now. The road never ends. It's me and my friends. These are the good times. And I'm feeling like I could go on forever. And I've been running out of air, so let me catch my breath. Feeling I've got's making me crazy. If I'm having a good time, don't you blame me. Yeah, this feeling I've got's making me crazy, making me crazy. So I'm just gonna drive, drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive, drive.
So the big moment arrived. The last time the center section is going on the side pods and chassis. Yep, I'm bonding it in place, bolting it in place, riveting it in place, and you have to follow a specific series, an order of how to do this. Number one, you bolt down these back two sides and also put in Worth adhesive to actually allow it to bond together. Then you move on to the front and you do the same here. You bolt these sides down. You also use sealer, and you also use sealer along all the rivet line that goes along the front here and around the other side. So when all that's in place, if that wasn't enough to stop this thing moving, then you bolt through on the inside of the dash through this into these carbon fibre seal tops. And when all that's done and everything's cured, this thing ain't gonna squeak. It's gonna be silent, it really is. Now, if you remember back to when I fitted these carbon fibre sill tops, I didn't actually bond these to this side pod at the time. What I'm gonna do actually is do that now, because now I've adjusted this lateral movement here perfectly so it lines up to everything, and put in a bead of sealant all along this interface. So yes, the back is done. These are down solid for the last time. I've made sure I've used sealant on these vertical edges and on these horizontal edges to make sure it is bonded and it'll never move again. Running a bead inside, or actually underneath this carbon cover, was quite easy to do actually. There was a bit of ply there, so no problem at all. And I've taped it to make sure there isn't a gap there in the morning. Now what I need to do is focus on the front. Now the front, there's quite a lot of fixings because it is the two sides and then all the pop rivets around the front. So I'm going to put sealant everywhere first, and then I'm going to start putting a couple of skin pins in to line things up, which should be pretty straightforward, and then I'm going to get the pop riveter out. So we're almost there, and soon the engine will be arriving. So let's get to it. what a scene. A V8 in the Dean Den in front of my RS. And what a bit of kit this is. What a bit of kit. And this will fit just behind my head. And what an engine it is. 6.2 litre V8, all aluminium construction, high lift camshaft. It's got 6 bolt mains, wet sump, EFI injection system, and it is ready just to drop in the RS. As you can see, we have the ancillaries, we have alternator, we have air conditioning compressor fitted, water pump, basically everything. And what is so great about using a crate engine like this from GM Performance Parts is that you know this will deliver seamless torque, seamless horsepower. It will start on the button every single time. It's not going to overheat. This is just reliable, smooth horsepower. And yes, I've driven cars with 1,000 horsepower engines and give me one of these any day. But apart from this, this is not the only thing I took delivery of today. And we're just going to go over to the workbench and I'm going to open some boxes and show you what else I got. Okay, so what other goodies did I get delivered today? Well, in here we have flywheel, clutch kit and release bearing parts. So this is all about transferring the power from that 6.2 litre V8 to that Porsche transaxle. So should we have a little bit of a look? Let's open it up. Okay, so we have, this is the release bearing, and we also, Ultima also give us a clutch alignment tool. Very good. I'll show you how that works when we actually put the clutch in at a later date. Here, fasteners, all labelled. And I tell you what, these are different sizes and different lengths. And this is for bolting the engine to the gearbox. What have we got here? Slave cylinder for the clutch. And we have a high performance clutch assembly. Now, I'm not going to lift that out because that's quite heavy, but I'm just going to lift it up. So there you go, you can see it in there. So this is the high performance clutch, and that's what I've specifically asked for to ensure when I do power upgrades at a later date, this car can cope with it. Right, let's just pack all this away again. And here, the next box, we have starter motor, starter ring gear, adapter plate fixings, and speedo sensor. Right, so let's have a little look in here. Oh, wow. Wow. We've got, so, starter motor. I'm not going to unpack that because you've all seen a starter motor, haven't we? Here we have, this is the cradle that supports the transaxle and bolts it to the chassis. Now, this is the speedo sensor, and you can see there a toothed cog, and there'll be probably a Hall effect sensor in there to actually pick up those little teeth as we're sprinting down the road. And then in here is the adapter kit, and basically it's a huge plate of aluminium that bolts on the back of the Chevy V8, and then it has the Porsche bolt pattern on the other side, and the transaxle bolts onto that. Very straightforward. However, it takes a lot of engineering to get that correct, and Ultima invested hours and hours and hours to get that spot on over the years. So what's nice is you just know that it's going to work. And let me just get the Porsche transaxle. Fuck, that's heavy. Fucking hell. Here we are, the Porsche transaxle. This is the secret sauce that takes the V8 torque and transfers it via the clutch to the rear wheels. So this sits behind the Chevy engine. It is hung from the chassis using the cradle I showed you earlier. The drive shafts then bolt on to these flanges and go to the rear hubs. As regards shifting, as you saw in a previous episode, there are two cables which connect to these two location points here, and listen to this. Oh, just going up the cogs. Oh man, smooth as a baby's bottom. But anyway, nice bit of kit, and again, brand new, and this is going to be mated to that V8 and then the whole assembly put in the car. Not just yet, but at a later date. Oh, what a day I'm having. It's just, I'm gonna wet myself. Right, this is the last scene of this episode because I've just got to go and have a beer and just look at my engine. Anyway, one box left, and the box has got on it new factory upgrade, and yep, I'm lucky enough to be able to launch this on this channel. So if you're building an RS out there, I've just got a feeling you're going to opt for this. Now, it's a bit of a clue of where I'm sitting. I'm sitting next to my side pod, and in particular, this scoop. Now, in a previous episode, a few people asked me questions like, are you going to do something with this? Because at the moment, it just looks like, well, it looks like nothing. It doesn't really look like it does anything at all. And yes, Ultima do provide a vent that goes through both walls of this side scoop and allows there to be basically a passage for air from underneath the wheel arch through the side of the car, or not through the side, around the side of the car to help cool the brakes. Now, these vents are made from GRP and they're covered in a film of fake carbon fibre, so to speak. Now, I'm a bit of a purist and I've splashed out on carbon fibre everywhere on this beast, everywhere, in the cockpit, on the outside, and really, I don't want to put something that isn't pure carbon on the car. So there you go. This is what Ultima have come up with. Now, I'm sure I didn't influence this because they were probably going to do it anyway, but these are made from the pucker stuff. And in a future episode, I'll be fitting these. I mean, they're beautiful. You can see the carbon weave. They're sprayed in gloss lacquer, and they will match my carbon fibre side skirts perfectly. So there you go. Ending this episode on a new factory upgrade. So give Richard a call at the factory if those tempt you, and he can give you availability and pricing on the phone. So another episode draws to a close, and boy, what an episode. I tell you, it was rather stressful putting this on, but it's there. But getting that engine, that transaxle, getting this new factory upgrade, wow. As I said, I just need to have a sit down now. So until next time, thanks for your support. And remember, always enjoy your spannering.